Good day, Dr. Rosma. My name is Cheng. My MATRIC number is AI210425. Now I'm presenting the video reflection about Lab 5 Web Service Technology. What is web services? A web service is a software system that allows different applications to communicate and exchange data over the internet or network. It enables the interoperability between diverse platforms and programming languages by using standard protocols such as HTTP and XML. It provides a standardized way for applications to expose their functionalities and make them available to other applications or clients. They follow a client-server architecture where the service provider offers a set of well-defined methods or operations that can be remotely invoked by clients. And the clients can be other applications, websites, or even mobile devices. Go Calculator Service Program is one of the programs that I have learned so far. Firstly, it declared with the web service annotation with the service name Go Calculator Service. This annotation declares the class Go Calculator Service as a web service and specifies its service name as Go Calculator Service. The class Go Calculator Service is the main class representing the web service. For the annotation of web method with the operation name count total price, this annotation specifies that the count total price method will be exposed as a web service operation and assigns it the operation name count total price. For the method count total price, the method takes two parameters: the current gold price, which representing the current gold price in RM per gram, and weight in grams, which representing the weight of gold in grams. It calculates the total selling price by multiplying the current gold price with the weight in grams. For the return type, this method returns a string representation of total selling price. The calculated total price is converted into a string using the concatenation, the double quote plus the total price, and then return. In summary, this web service provides a method called count total price that takes place the current gold price and weight as input and calculate the total selling price of gold. Other application or clients can invoke this web service to obtain a calculated result. So for the example of the Go Calculator service is e-commerce pricing. The Go Calculator service web service can be utilized in an e-commerce platform to calculate the pricing of gold products based on the current gold price and weight. When a customer selects a gold product, the platform can invoke the web service to calculate the total selling price dynamically. The next program that I have done so far is the translation service program. First, it started with the annotation of web service with service name translation service. This annotation declares the class translation service as a web service and specifies its service name as translation service, and followed by the translation service class. This class represents the web service and it contains a method called translate that performs language translation based on the provided parameters. Then is the annotation of web method with operation name translate. This annotation specifies that the translate method will be exposed as a web service operation and assign it the operation name translate. For the translate method, these methods take three parameters: the ORI-L, which representing the original language, the new L, which representing the desired new language, and the word, which representing the word to be translated. It calls the private method translate word to perform the actual translation. Translate word method. This is a private helper method that performs the translation based on the original language, ORI-L, the desired new language, new L, and the word to be translated word. In this example, it handles translation between Malay and English. The translated word method uses switch statements to determine the translation based on the original and new languages. It checks if the original language is Malay and the new language is English and vice versa. Depending on the provided word, it returns the translated word. If the translation is not available or the languages are not supported, it returns null. The translate method checks the translated word obtained from translate word method. If a valid translation is returned, it is returned as a string. Otherwise, if the translation is not available, it returns the message translation not available. So here are the examples of the problems or cases where this program can be used. So one of the example is travel and tourism. The translation service web service can be used in travel and tourism applications to facilitate communication between tourists and locals. Tourists can use the application to request translation of common phrases or questions, enabling them to interact more effectively with locals in different countries. The last program that I have learned so far is my server calculator program. First, the annotation of web service with the service name myServerCalculator declares the class myServerCalculator as a service and specifies its service name as myServerCalculator. For the class myServerCalculator, this class represents the web service and it contains several methods that perform basic arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The first operation is addition with the variable of x and y and return the value of x plus y. The class has four methods, each corresponding to an arithmetic operation: add, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These methods are annotated with web method to indicate that they will be exposed as a web service operations. Each method takes two input parameters x and y, which represent the operands for the respective arithmetic operations. The implementation code of each method performs the corresponding arithmetic operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division using the provided input parameters x and y. The result of the operation is then returned. Each method returns a float value representing the result of the arithmetic operations. So there are some problems or case can be mentioned from the program. One of the examples is financial services. The My Server Calculator web service can be used in financial applications to perform calculations such as interest rate calculations, loan payments, or investment portfolio analysis. Clients can invoke the appropriate methods to perform the required financial calculations based on the provided parameters. There are three importance of WSDL in describing web services, which are provide service discovery, interoperability, and allow to support. For the service discovery, this is because the functionality and capabilities of a web service can be described in a standardized manner using a WSDL file. Clients can learn about and comprehend the operations, data types, and message formats offered by the service by looking at the WSDL. Next is interoperability. Interoperability between various platforms and programming languages is encouraged through WSDL. It establishes a platform-independent contract that enables interoperability between many apps regardless of the underlying technologies. Third is tool support. This is because WSDL enables the generation of client-side codes or stubs using automated tools. These tools parse the WSDL file and provide the client code required to communicate with the web service. By giving developers a pre-defined interface and removing the low-level specifiers of the underlying protocol, this facilitates developers' use of service. Next, there are several things we need to understand from WSDL. First is service endpoint, operations, input and output messages, data types, and binding. For service endpoints, WSDL file specifies the endpoint's URL where the web service is located. For the operations, WSDL defines the operation or actions that the web service can perform. These operations represent the functionality exposed by the service. Third is input and output messages. WSDL describes the structure and format of input and output messages for each operation. It defines the data elements, data types, and their organization within the messages. Fourth is data types. WSDL defines the data types used by the web service, such as primitive types and complex types. Fifth is binding. WSDL describes the binding, which specifies the protocol and message format used for communication with the service. It includes details such as transport protocol, HTTP and SOAP, and encoding XML and JSON. Understanding the binding information is crucial for configuring the client to communicate with the service correctly. For exercise 3 in lab 5, the question asked me to find the SOAP elements that match with the WSDL elements. For this question, I choose the My Calculator project, and inside the project, I use the My Server Calculator program. So the first element of SOAP that match with WSDL is root element. For SOAP, its root elements start with the S envelope tag and then followed by the namespaces. While for the WSDL elements, it starts with the definitions, text, followed by the XML namespaces. The next element of SOAP that match with the WSDL element is the body element. The S body tag in the SOAP with the namespace of NS2 maps to the WSDL SOAP body tag with the use equal to literal element. The third element that match between the SOAP and WSDL is message element. For the input, the NS2 add tag maps to the WSDL message element with the name add, which defines in the WSDL file as message name equal to add. While for the output, the NS2 add response tag maps to the WSDL message element with the name of add response, which defined in the WSDL file as message name equal to add response. The last element that match between SOAP and WSDL element is the input and output element. For the input element, the X tag and Y tag in SOAP map to the part tag in the WSDL elements within the add message in the WSDL file. For the output element, the return tag in the SOAP maps to the part tag elements within the add response message in the WSDL file. That's all from me. Thank you.